Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time. Welcome if you are rejoining. My name is Marissa Price. I am a liberation coach, social worker, healer, helping Black women and femmes reclaim our self confidence from toxic environments, really lean into our spiritual gifts, and work through the things of like the fear of being seen, which we're going to talk about today. So, the title of today's live is How Black Women Can Navigate the Fear of Being Seen to Embrace Our Gifts, our sacred gifts. So before we start, I'll introduce my wonderful guest. But before that, let's take a deep breath to center ourselves, come back into our bodies. Yeah, just wherever you are, take a few deep breaths here. A little shake for re-embodiment, coming back into our bodies, embracing the power of breath as we work through things like the fear of being seen, which can be very scary, right? But we have the tools, and one of those tools is breath work. So just coming back into your breath, realizing that you can reset your nervous system at any time with your breath, come back into your body, and remind yourself that you're okay. So, with that, I will pass it over to Marissa Tolliver to introduce herself and tell us about her YouTube channel.
Thank you, Marissa, so much for having me. Thank you for that breath. I'm really excited but nervous to talk about this topic because it's really close to home. I feel it so deeply. Um, but I'm just going to take the fear I'm feeling as passion. But I am a visual artist and designer, and I'm focused on sustainable healing art. And my YouTube channel, and at Enough by MNT, is all about making the healing practices of art accessible to everybody. Hey, everybody in the chat. I see some familiar faces. That was
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have like a couple notes. I'm looking down to see if I said everything. Yeah, I think I did. Art is just super healing, and I just want to share my love of it and just make it accessible to everyone.
I love that. I love that. And you have a wonderful YouTube channel, Enough by MNT, Art, Music, and Healing. Can you just share a little bit about your channel and what inspired you to start your channel, and then what do you hope people gain from it from watching?
Yeah, absolutely. I was inspired to start my channel just because I had started doing art again, and for some reason I just felt like a nudge to start sharing. And I was during that time I was like in a year of just like honoring my intuition, and so if my intuition told me to do the thing, I just did it. So initially I didn't really understand like why I needed to have this channel. I was just trying to listen to the signs, but now it has evolved to me really knowing that the art that I do, art, music, the art and
Yeah.
music that I make is all about healing. And I just want to, I don't know, I just really feel like art has saved me. And I just want to like share the simple ways that you can access your creativity, and not any type of like big fancy way, not with like expensive materials. A lot of times I'll use like things from my recycling bin. If I make a song, it will just literally be me and my voice. And I just want people to know that you don't really need much to access the healing power that that art can have. Yeah, so that's what the channel has evolved to be about. Sometimes I'm singing on there. Sometimes I'm sharing little stories and my struggles. Sometimes I'm sharing art projects as I'm actively working on them. So I can't say like it has like one lane that it's in, but that's the overarching theme.
I love that. I love that. And you said something important. Art has saved you. I feel like that's like huge, right? Just tapping back into your ability to create can be very healing, right? And I think you showcase that on your channel very well. So thank you for that. And you also said you don't need a lot to get started, because sometimes we think that we need all of the latest and greatest stuff. Like you can literally start with what you have already. And I would love to just talk more about your work with sustainable materials in creating art, because that's just so interesting to me. So anything you want to share about using what you already have, like recycled materials, to create new things, and the power in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will go. back into like maybe um let's rewind like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was like still working in a corporate job, and I like always kind of had like a calling to do art, but I had put it aside. And at the time, like I was like being really minimal because of like finances, and it seemed like a better way of living life. But I was feeling called to start making things again, but I didn't really have the the resources available to me to really get started. And honestly, I was scared to invest, and then not take my creativity seriously and just have things be wasted. Um,
Mm-hmm. Hey,
um,
tumor.
yeah, the two Marissas. I'm sorry that cracked me up, so I had to stop for a second. Thank you for that laugh. Um, my friend the other day, she said, when we're on the lives together or in meetings together, she's like, "Oh, it's Marissa squared," and I was cracking up.
I love
uh,
that.
uh,
Yes.
um, okay, but yeah, so when I was getting back into my art practice and I had all that fear of starting, it just knowing if I could start with what I had. And actually, I was listening to Alicia Renice's podcast while I was at work at this toxic job. And then she was saying, start, and she says, "Hey, that's funny. Great timing. Hey, Alicia." Um, she said, like, start with what you have. And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, what do I have? I have, okay, charcoal. I know that's just burnt wood. Okay, I have some burnt wood in outside in my fire pit. So I started drawing with that. I had regular pencils and highlighters. I had coffee, which was what I started painting with. I had cardboard with that's like what I started painting on. Um, and I had t-shirts which I cut up, and that's what I started crocheting with. And it just allowed me to be free and feel like it was okay to start, and that I wasn't being like wasteful. A lot of people, like when they see my art out and about, they think it's about maybe like stewardship of the land and things like that. Those topics are really, really important to me, but honestly, it was just what was accessible to me. And those materials continue to inspire me to work with what I have. It feels like now it's evolved to like, it feels like I'm honoring my ancestors who, made things with what they had. It feels like, and I don't know, intuitive to my being. So it's hard to describe. I get really passionate about it.
I love it. Yeah. And just like the next thing, like about your background, which you've already shared a little bit about, but that calling, I would love to hear more about that. Like that calling that told you that you had to go back and revisit those gifts. Because a lot of us will feel like we can't pick it back up after we've put it down for so long. So, what was that process of being like, no, it hasn't been too long. I can go back and reclaim those gifts. And actually, I'm being called to do that for a greater reason. What was that process like?
So I think that I was going through like a time where I was at a job where I was being told I wasn't enough. Even though like I was doing the most, I was feeling like um, at home I wasn't being like enough as like a mom and as a partner, and I was feeling like I was focusing everything I had inside of me on trying to get I want to say like the approval and recognition of everybody else, and I lost myself deeply because you can't please everybody, and so
Yeah.
I ended up being able to go to therapy, and I was telling my therapist I didn't even know what I wanted for myself in life, and then she recommended that I go back to my 9-year-old self. What did my 9-year-old self like to
Mm.
do? And that's when I remembered what I like to do is I would sit there silently and I would crochet and I would draw people, and I would just stare at them. I wouldn't talk to them. But I would just, that's like how I communicated. And I would go outside and I would collect rocks. And I thought they were beautiful. I'd give them people as gifts and they thought I
Oh,
was
me
weird.
too.
Oh,
You collected
really?
rocks too?
I still have a huge rock collection now, actually.
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's where it all started, just going back and trying to find the little pieces of myself that I'm about to cry. A couple people in the chat are saying they love my art.
Yeah, it's
That
beautiful.
means a lot that people have even gone to go look at it. Thank you so much. So I didn't mean to get distracted, but yeah, it means a lot to feel seen. So thank you guys. But yeah, that's how I got back into doing art, and that was challenging too, because initially I didn't make beautiful things, and I had to give myself permission to be like, that's okay, you're enjoying this. It's not a waste of time if it's not
Mm.
great. You're enjoying this. You are allowed to
Mhm.
have fun, Marissa. You're allowed to have joy. You're allowed to give yourself that time. And so that was a big part of it. And I think that's why upcycling was such a powerful tool, because I didn't feel a need to make beautiful art, because the cardboard was already, subjectively not that cute. So I couldn't mess up anything.
I love that. I love that. And like going back, right, and realizing, because that's been a part of healing for me too. It's more like shedding than taking on something new. It's like all of this stuff that I've taken on that society told me I had to be fit into these boxes. It's like, no, taking that off and realizing that I was enough the whole time. The things that we were interested in as young people, like you said, going back to your 9-year-old self and picking those things back up, that's the reason why we're here. And it's like tapping back into those gifts can be so powerful. So thank you for sharing that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I would love to ask about Melanated Market, which is the website that you created to support other Black women business owners. Anything you'd like to share about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was in Alicia Renice's group, The Garden. It's amazing. And that's how I met you, of course.
Yeah.
Um, and when I was in that group, I was just exposed to so many people, Black women, that were having so many amazing businesses, and everybody was like sending their links when we were in our meetings, in the Zoom chats. Um, and it was like put on my heart, like, man, this should be like a website. I wish there was an easy way to access, access all of these women's, amazing offerings. Um,
Mhm.
and So also at the same time, another friend that I made in that group, um, Nakia, she has an amazing book, and you can find it on melanatedmarket.org if you go there. But she shared with me that she started her book because basically, God told her to. And she felt that. And she was like, when you hear that call to do something, it's because you're supposed to do it. And I was already on that journey of listening to my intuition. And so it's a multifaceted story. Please forgive me, y'all. I'm like a
No,
very
no, you're
circular
fine.
thinker,
You're
but
fine.
also like I deeply believe like that for every need that there is, or everything that you want to see out there, um like it's just a universal law that that need has to be fulfilled. And so if there's something that I need or want out there in the world, and I don't see it, I believe that it's like my job to make it happen. And I have everything I need in that moment to make it happen. And so I just went for it. I messaged a few of my friends from the garden and asked would they be okay being added to the website that I just randomly was building. Um, and it yeah, everybody said yes, and went for me on this like whim that I had. It's just a Google site. I tried to make it as beautiful as I can to honor the amazing businesses that are on there. But yeah, every time that I meet a cool Black woman with an awesome business, I just ask them. Um, yeah.
Cousin says, wait, you are the brain behind enough.
Yeah, it's me.
It's her. Yes.
um, Thank you. But it still shocks me that people like watch my YouTube channel and see it, like besides like my friends I actually know. Yeah, so hey, it's so good to see you there. Um, but yeah, so that's how that got started, and it's just been growing slowly. I'm also like really, really passionate about just creativity in general, and I have a little sister, and she does web design, and um, she has just I don't know, just like taught me so much about like how doing that kind of stuff is a creative practice. And so just like talking to her and stuff like that, like random whim, nobody's taken me up on it yet, but I think it would be so cool if Melanated Market was not just a directory. I would love it if anybody was curious about tech at all and they wanted to experiment on the website, they could. So there's a tab on the Melanated Market website if you ever want to volunteer and just like learn how to put a website together, make forms, all that kind of stuff. There's a tab on the website there, if that's something that you're into. So you could have something like on your resume. And that's inspired by my baby sister. I never told her that, but that's the truth behind that aspect of it. And just like learning that I don't have to do everything myself, and just
Mhm.
being like open to receiving help, if it ever comes. And a lot of people like have helped me with it. My friend Tay, I don't know if she wants a shout out, so I'm like hesitant to say it, but she like helped
Lavender?
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lavendula. Yeah. She like helped me like just like be like the first eyes on it and just make sure that everything looked good. And hey girl. And then Marissa, you also like, you know, gave me like the edge on like when I was like, yeah, I have this idea. What do you think? And you're like, go for it. And so it's just been really beautiful to just see it unfold and evolve. And I hope that it grows and evolves more. And so if anybody is listening and you like are wanting your business to like, I don't know, just have like a little bit more shine or like, you know, be on the directory for people to find with more ease, you can either go to the website and there's like a, what is it called? There's a form that you can fill out and to submit your business to be listed on the directory. Or if you're like not that tech savvy or if that's too much for you, you can email me directly either at contact.melanatedmarket.org, or you can email me for real. It's mnt the artist at gmail.com. But yeah, either whatever works for you. I would love to shout out your business and to connect with you. It makes me so excited to talk about other Black women business owners. So I'm just amazed at like how creative we are, y'all. It's just it makes me so happy.
Me too. Yeah. Our creativity is like an endless well, right? And just
Yes.
seeing that and having a place to promote our offerings that you've created, I think that's so special. So thank you. Yeah. And when some big up yourself says, I just took a look at the amazing melanated market site. I have some women I can't wait to refer. Yay!
Oh, thank
Yay! So I
you.
will put your email in the chat if you do want to send your offering or refer other Black women who have offerings to list on Marissa's website. Please send her an email. But yeah, and I do see a comment from Nakia. Hey, Nakia. The garden love runs deep. Yeah, yeah. So the garden, right? Having that safe place to really tap back into your gifts that Alicia Renice created, that was so special, right? It gave me the place to like publish my book, put my offerings out into the world because I never had that like safe space of other Black women creatives before. So that was so special. Yeah, it does. It does. I love to ask you. You talked a little bit about intuition, right? So, what inspired you to take that leap of faith for other people who may be considering a similar leap? We know that fear kind of gets in the way sometimes. So, how were you able to tap into your intuition and follow that calling that you said that this is the next step to take to tap back into your artistic gifts?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was working for a while, I think that I went through like a long phase where I couldn't even hear my own intuition. I don't know if anybody else has ever
Yes.
experienced that. And I
Mhm.
remember like asking people like, and they would talk about like intuition online, and me like desperately low key emailing them like, how do you hear your intuition? Like, what's going on? Um, and you know, like, and I guess they were so far along in their journey that they couldn't even recall not being able to hear their intuition anymore, or maybe they never let that side of themselves go. And so I remember I like at the time I wrote a song, and it was basically like begging like my intuition like, hey, if you call me, if you tell me to do anything, I promise you I will answer. I will do whatever you say. I just want to hear you again. And that song is on my channel. If you ever like are curious, I'm nosy, so I like to know that kind of stuff. But you can go back down the rabbit hole if you want to hear it. But that's how that got started. And so when I sang that song, I started hearing little like whispers, like, and it was really, really subtle. Like, maybe you would like doing this. And it would be like
Mm.
the weirdest stuff. Like, don't you think you should crochet with plastic? And I'd be like, I don't have time for that. I have a full-time job and a kid. But I kept on hearing it, but I was like, okay, you promised you would listen. Um, and so
Mm.
I just kept listening because I made that commitment to myself. Um, because it's really scary when you can't hear your own inner voice and you have to depend on everybody else on the outside to guide you. That was
Mm.
it was terrifying. I felt lost, I felt drained, I felt all the not good feelings. And so I knew that that was the key, so I just decided no matter what, I'm gonna listen. I hope that answered the question.
It does, yeah. In that voice, right? Some of us have been conditioned to be afraid of that voice, but that's like our sacred like connection to source, I feel like. So was there any fear surrounding that when you started to recognize and make space for that voice to tell you which direction to go? Because a lot of us may experience fear around
um I think there was some like fear and like
that. Mhm.
hesitation, not fear that my intuition was wrong, fear I was gonna look like a fool, fear that I was gonna look silly, fear that I was gonna be judged.
Mhm.
Um, but the beautiful thing about like being desperate is you have no more options. And I knew things couldn't get worse. And so might as well listen to myself. It
Mhm.
hasn't worked all the times where I listened to other people and I took the jobs other people told me would be impressive and I
Mm.
stayed at work all the extra hours to impress others. Like I was so unhappy that there was nothing to lose by listening to myself. Um,
Mhm.
and also another thing that really helped me is I have a son and I don't ever want him to listen to the world more than he listens to himself. Like I
Mhm.
think that's so important to me. And the only way that he can learn that lesson is if I set that example. Um, and so it's like mission critical to me that I honor myself, I honor my dreams so that this next generation that I'm raising can do that. Um, yeah, I come from like a long line of really creative people that were dreamers, and I thought dreams didn't come true. I thought they were just something that you just did for fun. But I want him to know his dreams come true. They come true. So that's what helped me put that fear aside because the mission is critical.
That's powerful. That's powerful. The mission is critical to believe in your dreams. Like you said, you're modeling that to your son, right? To other generations coming up. So to look at it from that way, like it really is that important, right? A lot of us have been socialized to view like dreaming as silly, but it's really what propels the world forward. And it's what we were put here to do. So once you tap back into that power, it's like you can't be stopped because you're relying on a different energy. Like you said, relying on what other people tell you to do as someone who is still recovering from being a people pleaser. That has been a lot of work to. Oh, I think we lost Marissa. Hopefully she'll come back. But yes, recovering from being a people pleaser and having to look to other people to tell me what my life should look like. And realizing that you have the power to tap back into that intuition and your sacred voice inside to go the way that it's telling you to go. Yeah. So while we wait for Marissa, I'm just gonna read some comments. Thank y'all so much for the comments. Yes, I agree. Yes. The market is so generous, Marissa. Yes, yes. Yes. Hey Mara. Good to see you. Good to see you. Katrina, yes, yes. Yeah. I agree. Lavandula. Yes, the garden was such a beautiful space. Yes. I agree. I agree. Yes. The over enthusiast with host Temple Jackson. Yeah, hey Temple, we must learn to trust ourselves in the profound gift of intuition. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Coral Neon, good to see you. Yes, Leslin says, yeah, I'm ready to freaking quit. Yeah. 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 Leslin says, so he learns to do that as well. I see and agree. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to impress others is like trying to cure cancer with Kool-Aid. Wow. That's deep. I got to sit with that one for a second. Yeah. Trying to impress others is like trying to cure cancer with Kool-Aid. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's a losing battle. When we place our self esteem, self confidence, self worth in the eyes of other people who will never be able to see our vision, who aren't at that place a lot of the times, we will start to doubt what we're doing. So being able to tap back into what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and trusting that voice and that inner guidance, that's huge. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yes, intuition knows. Thank you, Katrina. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna look at my phone. Okay, Marissa will be right back. Yes. Thank you, Leslin. Yeah, this is a great conversation. Let's hit the like button and get this out to the masses. Thank you, Leslin. I appreciate that. Yes, please hit the like button. And can we talk about this lavandula? Going through the trouble of listening to your intuition still have my moments. Me too. Because again, we are socialized to disregard our intuitions. We come here with it being very strong. And then over time, it's like we start to doubt ourselves because other people have placed that message into our psyches, our brains. And so unlearning that, shedding that, and coming back to who you were supposed to be the entire time, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of work sometimes. And so it's important to be compassionate with yourself and give yourself grace as you come back into the person who you were always meant to be. And that can bring up different feelings of anger, right? Like, this is the person I was supposed to be this whole time, and now I have to go back and get this girl when I should have just been okay the entire time. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Marissa's back.
Hey, sorry. I don't know.
You're
I don't know
fine.
what that was, but I'm gonna take it as a sign that we were having a good talk and like
I
the
think
Matrix
so.
was
It
like,
was too
no.
powerful. It was just too powerful. Yes. But yes, just reading the chat here. Thank y'all so much. This is a lovely chat. I'm gonna have to go back and read it. Um, but yeah, I would love to ask, going to the topic of the discussion, have you struggled with the fear of being seen or putting yourself out there? And if so, how did you work through that fear? How are you working through that fear to really embrace your gifts and put them out into the world despite that fear of being seen?
Absolutely I struggle with that. I struggle with it right now, all the time, every day. I struggle with the fear of being seen, of being worried about being a bother, taking up space. Um, and how have I dealt with that? I guess like the short answer to it is trusting that um, trusting that my intuition, and that like if I feel called to share something, that then that it's needed for the collective. And so I have to just trusting that that I feel that desire to share for a reason. And so I can show up with fear, and just reframing the fear as, okay, this just means it's really important. This just means I'm really passionate. and still just showing up anyways. But it's really scary. And I awkwardly admit all the time, even on my YouTube channel, like I'm nervous right now. You'll see like,
Yeah.
and like the first comment below a lot of my videos is like, I said, a lot, guys, I'm sorry. I was just so scared. Um, and it is what it is. I'm scared, but I'm gonna keep trying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that radical transparency is freeing. When you see someone else like admit that I'm doing this scared, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like it gives you permission to do the same thing. Because a lot of us feel like we have to be at a certain point, certain level, it has to be legitimate for us to put it out there. And so to see other people be like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm still doing it, that gives you permission to do it too. And you don't have to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion. It doesn't even exist. So us trying to achieve this thing again through the lens of like external validation, other people like determining what we're doing is legitimate or it's okay, that gives other people the power that's already within us. So if we tap back into that, it's like we're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you. You said something else that I wrote down and now I can't find my notes. Oh yeah, reframing. Reframing. Um, so like strategies working through the fear of being seen. Reframing is a huge one. So reframing it, like you said, as this is really important. I have been entrusted with this message to carry out versus it being, I don't want the spotlight to be on me, and actually taking that pressure off of yourself that this is actually from source, right? This is actually from something I can't really like tangibly put my hands on, but the message was downloaded to me. And so it's important that I share that. That reframe is very powerful. Are there any other like strategies or practices that have helped you move through that fear of visibility as you're working through it?
Yeah, there's a lot. This part I actually did try to write down, because looking at my notes is funny. The first thing I said is shout out to my friends, because a lot of this is like things that they've taught me along the way. So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for all of you. If any of my friends are watching this, so the first strategy is community. Just like learning from other people, and learning that other people have the same struggles that I do. So like if you have like friends that are like-minded around you, like get around them. But like also if you don't, like I didn't know anybody like in my immediate space that was trying to do the things I was. So I joined the garden, like if you can
Mm-hmm.
find like an online community. And then when I was trying to turn my passion into a business, I joined your group. The Free Black. Can you say the whole title so I don't butcher it?
Oh no, you're fine. It's changed a few times. So Free Black Women Entrepreneurs. Yeah, that's my online community for Black
Yeah.
women online business owners. Yeah.
Yeah, so I joined communities, and then I slowly began to have like friends authentically, like, and these are my authentic connections like online now, but like friends in real life is a better way to put it, that I could
Mm-hmm.
connect with and like, yeah, talk about all the things with. The next one is like find safe places to be vulnerable and say you're scared, because it is scary.
It
um
is.
but
It
sometimes just
is.
getting it out, it helps.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I put.
Oh no, I think we lost Marissa again. Hopefully she'll be back. But yes, gonna read some comments. Um, and yeah, community. The first thing that Marissa mentioned, I think that's huge. Getting around other people who are like-minded um, is so important, especially if you're the only one kind of doing it in your immediate vicinity. You can start to feel like something's wrong with you if people are telling you this is not the path to go down. So the more that you can get around people who are doing the same things, who are there to support you, uplift you, I think that's huge to really stay committed to the dream. Right. Yeah. Having Doulas's community is so key. That's why I love this space. Yeah. Oh, Thank you, Lavendula. Yes, community is key. It really is. Yeah. Okay, she's back.
Okay, I do remember where we left
Yay.
off. I apologize, guys. This is just
Oh
a
no,
mess.
you're good. You're good. We're here. Yes. So
Thank
the first
you.
thing you mentioned was community about
Um,
strategy. Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. So the next one was asking for what I need to show up. So um sometimes like when I'm like fearful and I'm being asked to like show up, I don't know, to a talk or something, like being like, hey, can we meet before this and practice? Can we have a deep breath at the beginning? Even if it's like asking for support, like sometimes I'll have to text all my friends and be like, hey, I'm gonna be doing this scary thing, can you show up please? Even if you just comment and dip, like I need support, asking for encouragement. um and one of the things I said asking for what I need was, sometimes it's privacy. When I first got on YouTube, I was scared, so I didn't show my whole face. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have my name on there at all. And that's what, you sometimes just have to do whatever you can. And I don't think it's fair to force yourself to show up like perfectly, like when
Mm-hmm.
it's scary, and
Yeah.
just to accept like what you can do in that moment. Like maybe at first it's just and I'm not going to say it's just because it's not even small. Maybe for you it's just a tweet, and
Mm-hmm.
but that's big for you. But just giving your permission to do it like slow and steady however
Mm-hmm.
you can. um so this one is directly from one of my friends. She always tells me like people don't have to get to know you all at once. And that has really helped me with like the fear of showing up, because I think I felt like I had to show up like, one, perfect, and then two, like fully explain myself. But like I'm a
Mm-hmm.
complicated person. I've been through a lot. Like people aren't gonna understand me in one video and one art piece and one art gallery showing. Like it's not possible. And just understanding that that is okay. And that took a lot of pressure off too, because I think I would always be like talking so fast. I still talk really fast, but I just felt like, okay, everybody has to get to know all of me right now, and it put a lot of pressure on me and it stressed me out. And just letting that go, like, okay, if they don't get it this time, the right people will get it next time. It's fine. Um, and then also, I'm sorry, there's a lot of them, but
No,
it's just so
we're
scary to show
listening.
up. So I want to
Yeah.
help anybody that is in this situation too. But also giving myself permission to fail. And just like, if I view that I failed something, I'll be like, hey, why was this a failure? And like being like, oh, I don't like those exact colors. And then I began to change my relationship with failure and being like, oh, failure is just really a hint to the next part of what I want to do. And now I get excited to fail. I'll put a YouTube video out and
Mm.
I was like, ooh, that one, maybe that was trash. But then I can like be like, okay, well, why was it trash? Okay. It was because, girl, you were talking way too fast, And it's like, okay, I want to work on that. And like, it's like the failure is like my guiding force, and it's like a gift to me now. And I'm so grateful for the fails. I hope that makes sense.
Mhm. It does. It does. And that's like another level, right? Giving yourself grace and self compassion. When you do realize something failed, it's like, can you treat yourself like a child in that situation, right? Talking to yourself as little you. Well, what can you improve on next time? And not taking such a self critical voice that a lot of us have been taught to take when we make a mistake or something happens we didn't want it to happen. Like really sitting with yourself and just giving yourself that grace, like, well, what can I do better next time? Instead of going down the self critical road. That's huge. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for clarifying it too. That helps a lot. You like, yeah, treating yourself like a child is such a good one, the way you just phrased that. Thank you for that. Um,
Yeah.
but I think those are all the notes I can think of right now, and just always remembering like what I have to share is needed. And so however it comes out, I can refine it later, I can always
Yeah.
edit it later. As long as it's out, at least it has a chance.
Mm, that's huge. As long as it's out there, at least it has a chance. It doesn't have to be in this like perfect package that a lot of us have been taught it has to look like. Just trusting that the voice was within you to carry it out, and whatever it looks like is fine. That's free. That's free. And you said something else that your friend told you people don't have to get to know you all at once. That's huge because a lot of us feel like we have to put everything out there at one time, and that can be scary. And it can further deter us from putting anything out there if we feel like we have to put everything out there at one time. But giving yourself permission to put stuff out there little by little as you feel comfortable um, can really get you to that place too. Yeah. And hopefully we didn't lose Marissa. Hopefully not. If so, we'll come back on. No worries. Yeah. Coral Neon says definitely giving grace. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Permission to fail. Thank you for writing these out. Yes. Permission to fail. Yeah. Hey, Daniela Elevates. Yes. Hey, everyone. I appreciate everything Marissa Tolliver is saying. Thank you for such encouragement and for sharing your experiences. Thank you for that comment. Yes. And she's back. Yes. Hey. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I was reading that comment. That was so sweet, Daniela. I'm glad that yeah, things are resonating. That makes me feel confident to keep going with the conversation. Because man, these interruptions are humbling.
I love it. I love it. Adds another level of excitement. So, no worries.
Okay, okay, I like that reframe.
Yes. And Sade says, as long as it's out there, at least it has a chance. Girl, that freed a lot of people right there. It doesn't matter how it looks to other people. Did you put it out there? That gets you closer to where you're supposed to be because you're trusting that voice within you. Right? That's huge. That's huge. And Winsome says, this conversation is feeding my soul. Oh, thank you for that
So glad.
comment. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yes, gems. Gems. Yeah. Sade said it freed me.
Yeah, Sade, please be freed because your work is so beautiful.
It is.
She can I give a shout out real quick, Marissa?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Sade has like the most beautiful journals. Um
Hmm.
her website, I believe it's Sonnet 641 stationery, but if you go to melanatedmarket .com too, I mean sorry, .org in the journal section, her products are there's a link to her website there and they are beautiful. And I know somebody that owns them in real life and they confirm that the quality is top notch and beautiful. So I just wanted to give that shout out.
Yay. Thank you. Yes. Yes. So please go to melanatedmarket.org to check out Sade's sites for her journals. Yes, I agree. They are beautiful. They are beautiful. Yeah. And Lavendula says, I have some of her journals and they're so incredibly well made. I love it. I love it. Yes. Yes. But yes, I would love to ask any advice that you would give to other Black women who are afraid of being seen and taking up space. Any tips or strategies that you like to share for other Black women navigating the same fear?
Um, all I can say is that like we need your message, we need what you have to offer. I need it. Like I scour these internet streets for like the stories, the products of other Black women because I need that and like that permission that I can keep making what I make and I need to see people making things differently and you know creating their own paths. It energizes me. And so I just hope that I can
Did we lose Marissa? I think we may have lost Marissa again, but I'm going to go back to the comments. Yeah. Lesson said I was cooking and listening, but this conversation is immaculate. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, yes. And usually that critical voice ain't even ours. Yeah, it's not. These are often voices that we've taken on from other people around us throughout our lives that have been overly critical of us. So we begin to internalize that, especially being socialized as women. We're often taught to go within. When someone harms us externally, it's like, go within. What could I have done differently? It's like nothing. That person is insecure. But taking on that voice can really play a big part in us feeling like we can't put our stuff out there anymore. So it's realizing that, putting that externalizing that voice again and reclaiming your own is so essential to begin to tap into your gifts. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Oh, Katrina says my soul has been touched by the sweet discussion. Thank you. Thank you for this comment. Yeah. Yeah. Journals made with love. Yes. Yes. Please check out Sade's journals, y'all, on Marissa's website. I believe in you all. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Get y'all one of Sade's journals. I will link Marissa's website here again. Yes. Yeah. Nakia, Black Artivism, go easy on yourself and show yourself grace is important. Yeah. It's so important. You have to be your own biggest supporter. A lot of us are our own biggest critics. And that will really do a number on us feeling like we're not good enough to put our stuff out there into the world. But really being your biggest supporter, if you can flip that on its head and change your internal dialogue, I feel like that's so critical. And some of us don't know that we have the power to do that, but you do. That voice inside you, you've taken on from an external source, and you can tap back into your true voice and revise that internal voice to be one that's supportive and compassionate. So you have the power to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Just looking through the comments. Yeah. So true. Do what you can until you can do better. Yeah. Do what you can. Take baby steps are still steps. That's so true. Yeah. Yeah. Insanity Salem, the spiritualista diva. Ooh, I love that name. Welcome. Yes, I'm doing my thesis on the importance of sisterhood and meeting people who can pour into you and you into them. Ooh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That sounds like an interesting thesis topic too. Ooh, I'd love to read that. Yeah. Yeah, butterfly effect. Hey, safe spaces are important. They are. They are. Yeah. Yeah. And just this, it is scary. It is scary to put yourself out there, to put your work into the world, to have it potentially judged by other people. But if you can do it little by little and get into supportive community like the garden, which Alicia created, that's huge in being able to do that, to being able to navigate the fear of being seen because you're around people who are already supporting what you're creating. There's no question there. And that changes things for a lot of us who have been around people who have criticized what we're doing. All of a sudden, you're in a supportive space where people are wanting to support what you're doing, right? Your work. And so that those fears kind of disintegrate because now people aren't criticizing your work, they're actually supporting you and uplifting you. That's huge. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, I'm so grateful that you are such a pro at lives because yes, thank you for I know that you hosted everything so well when I had that random disappearance. So thank you, and thank you everybody in the chat for your patience. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Sade says this is the sweetest conversation. Both Marissas have so much wisdom. Oh, thank you. Yes. I appreciate this conversation community so much. Yeah, we appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. But I do want to ask you what motivates you to keep moving forward, even when that fear or self-doubt starts to creep in. How do you continue to trust in your gifts and your ability to continue to put them out into the world, even when that fear pops up, which may stop a lot of us?
Hmm. Um, Guys, forgive me for all the woo-woo stuff. I'm just a woo-woo type person, but
Hey,
I think
it's
it
Google over
goes
here. Me too.
um I think it goes back to like the same thing that I said before, like the like every need the universe fulfills. I think that like sometimes like if I'm feeling called to do something, like I may be the answer to like somebody else's prayer. I don't know. Like certain people have been answers to my prayers. Like you have been that sometimes. Alicia has been that sometimes. Like Lavendula on her platform. So many
Hmm.
people have been that. And so it's just like I don't want to die and the universe had a plan and they're like, oh man, maybe next lifetime, you know? Like I want that to come to fruition like now. And so that keeps me going. And then also just because I have to create. And if I don't, I feel like kind of stifled and angry. And I wasn't happy when I was doing it any other way. And so it's just I don't know, like this is the only way that I know how to be and I know how to take care of myself is to create and share when I'm called to. And I feel better this way. And so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. And yes, Giovanna. And I'll be on Giovanna's channel at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. Yes, but she says, as women trying to let go of the strong black woman trope, we need more woo woo. I agree. So thank you for the woo woo, Marissa. We need it.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm in good company with everybody that's all woo woo with me. Thank y'all.
Yes, yes. And you mentioned something about feeling stifled when you don't create, when you don't express your gifts. What does that feel like for those of us who may not even know that we're feeling stifled? But it's that feeling of kind of being stuck. And once you tap into your creativity and your gifts, that can be so like life changing, right? So just like if someone may be going through that, feeling stifled, if you could just share like how that feels for you and how you work through that and use creativity to work through those feelings.
Hmm. Absolutely. So since I know I'm in good woo woo company, I'll just continue to be extra woo woo. I don't know if anybody is familiar with human design, but I'm a projector, and in that realm,
Mm-hmm.
there's like something that's called like your not self, and so it's like when you're not being yourself, what do you feel like? For me, in my human design, I feel bitter, and so I'll notice bitterness come up. I will be angry with my family, like why am I always cooking and you guys are hungry all day, or I'll be angry with people that I'm working with. Why don't you know exactly what you want on this thing? And the truth is it's because really I'm bitter because you're asking for what you want and I'm not giving myself what I need to
Oh,
create. um and so but for everybody it can come out differently, but that's for me. Like, so if you experience me being bitter, please tell me, go drink some water, Marissa, and go draw, like, and then I'll be better, I promise. But like um
okay, that was a whole word. You're asking for what you want, and I'm not giving myself what I need, so that's why I'm bitter. Ooh, wow. Wow. Yeah, Leslie said, yeah, that hit just right. Yeah. It did. Because a lot of us won't know why we're feeling that way, especially growing up in the society that we grow up in. Bitterness is just kind of like normalized. It's like, oh, yeah, just a feeling that you experience. But once you see a way to work through that, when you actually pour into yourself, those feelings start to dissipate, right? That's powerful. That's powerful. Daniela says bars.
I've never been cheered on for being a bitter person before. Thank you guys. But I'm healing. I'm healing.
Yeah, we needed that. We needed that. Um, but yeah, any success stories or moments of triumph that you'd like to share that have reinforced your belief in yourself, in your power as you work through the fear of being seen?
Mm, yeah, lots of success stories, but like the ones that like hit me the deepest. So sometimes like I'll have like these nudges. They're really really weird. So like like my friends will tell me they're going through something and I won't have the words for it, but like something in my spirit will tell me to like sing them a little song.
Hmm. Oh, I think we may have lost Marissa again. I think so. Okay, we're gonna go back to the chat. Um, yeah, through here. Lesson says, "OMG, when you half Indian, half black, the bitter is real." I'm chuckling at that. I'm chuckling. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, the need to create to be well. Yeah, and realizing that that's um, a way for self care is to create and tap back into little you, because it can feel silly. It can feel like not serious because of the society that we live in that regards children that way. But really tapping into those gifts can really, yeah, help with those feelings of bitterness that a lot of us experience. Agreed. Agreed. Thank y'all so much for the love in the chat today. Seriously, I appreciate it. Yes, please check out Marissa's website, melanatedmarket.org, and email her mnttheartist@gmail.com if you have something you'd like to put up on the website, if you have someone you want to refer who has offerings to put up on the website. This is to support Black women business owners, like a directory, right? So please take advantage of that resource. Ooh, Janine's World. Thank you for this. The critical voice has been family. It can be difficult when the people that you love don't support you. I have to be my own cheerleader. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's real. And thank you for sharing that. Um, yeah, it can be difficult. And that's why it's important to get around community of people who actually get it. And sometimes we do have to be our own cheerleader. That's real. That's real. And that's why it's pivotal to revise that inner voice that you have that may be self critical that you've taken on throughout your life and replace it with one of compassion, grace, understanding. Um, so, yeah, in the event that you do have to be your own cheerleader, you can be an effective one, a supportive one that you've always needed. So, yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm on my phone now, so hopefully you can hear me okay, and hopefully it doesn't
Mhm.
shut down. I think my iPad is officially dead, so I guess I'm moving on to bigger and better things. Woo woo, because it is not turning back on. Um,
Yes,
ah,
yes, we can hear you perfectly.
okay,
Hear you
thank you
perfectly.
for confirming.
Yeah. Ravindula says, thank you for having this conversation. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh, Coral Neon. We need what we need. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed. Agreed. Lesson says, I remember I never considered writing to be a creative act, but as I grew and understood art better, now I have to write every day. And I do. Yay. Yeah. And that's the same for me writing. I don't write every day. When I do, I feel it because that's really where the messages, the understanding of this life experience come from when I write. So when I don't, it's like kind of jumbled up and I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling all these feelings inside. So having that outlet, that creative outlet of writing is so powerful. Yeah. Yeah. Writing is such an amazing creative outlet. I feel you. When I don't write, I'm a mess. Okay. Thank you. I'm not the only one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and as someone that's like not a writer, I just have to say I am so, so grateful for people that are writers and share their work. So please don't ever feel like that it's not creative. So many times like writers like just put words to things that I've been trying so hard to express and I'm not able to. So I just want to just say thank you to all of the writers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Because there have been so many moments where I felt like it's silly. Like, why am I doing this? I think you talked about this. Like, if it's not productive, then it feels like,
Mhm,
why are you doing it? Under the
mhm.
system that we live in, like capitalism, right? Telling us that if this is not making you money, why are you putting any energy into it? You should be starting. You should be putting energy into like money making activities all the time, but you actually you need it. Like it's necessary. It's not silly. It's not something that you can just brush off like that. This is your sacred gift. And once you tap into that, new things open up. It's really that powerful. So yeah, yeah, agreed. I'd love to ask what you're looking forward to in the future as you continue your personal and professional evolution and navigating the fear of being seen and sharing with us your amazing creative gifts.
Um, this one's hard to answer because I think you get conditioned to like be fearful to like ask for what you want and to like hope for things. At least I have been conditioned to do that. So this one is hard for me. But I think that what I look forward to is figuring out how to make time to create with other people and have conversations with other creative people
Mhm.
and to like hold those types of hold those types of spaces. I'm not there yet, but that's something that I feel like it's about to happen for me really really soon, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm nervous for it. I'm scared to say out loud that this is something I want so badly. Yeah, so I think I'm just looking forward to staying on this journey and for it to include more people soon.
Mm, I love that. And that just speaks to something like I can resonate with, right? The fear of putting something out there, like putting it out there where other people can hear it and it
Mhm.
perhaps not coming true. Because a lot of us will feel shame around it not coming true, not working out like we thought it should. So we're not going to put it out there. But there's actually power when you say it and say it in front of other people because that can inspire other people to go for their dreams too. So yeah, yeah. Um, as we wind down, I'd love to ask you, what do you want your legacy to be? A huge question.
um I just would like my legacy to be that I inspired people to tap back into their creativity. Like even if I don't really like care that people like see my art or things that I make, I hope that as I put myself out there, people are like, I can make my thing. That's what I really hope my legacy will be. I hope yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I want to add more to it, but it's just extra words. I hope in every like a little pebble and interaction that I have, I just people feel like I gave them like access to the permission that they truly can only give themselves to just create.
Mm. And I feel like you do that with your YouTube channel, with the art that you create. And we're so grateful for you putting your creations out into the world so that we can be inspired to tap back into our own creativity. Right. So just thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah. As Lavendula says, you've inspired so many of us already. You really have. You really
Oh,
have. So
thank
thank you.
you, Lavendula. That means a lot. Yeah, Lavendula's writings like that. She's specifically one of the writers in your book as well, or like you guys are both the writers I was talking about. Like give words to so many of the things that I don't know how to say. Yeah. So my final plug. I'm sorry, Marissa. I know you said we're wrapping up, but if
No.
anybody has a chance, like definitely check out Cocoon and check out the box. Also
Mhm.
linked on melanatedmarket.org. Not to be self plugging all the time, but like yeah, both of those books have yeah, they have been yeah, they just have like gotten me through a lot when I don't have the words. So thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Of course, of course. And yes, Lavendula's book, The Box, inspired me to get back to writing myself. And you can check out The Box on Marissa's website, again, which I've linked here. But yeah, just seeing, right, the creations that are downloads from source that we're able to put out into the world and have other people benefit from them. And that's really a part of legacy building too, because you're leaving something here for other people to discover and happen upon when we're no longer here. That's the power of creativity too. So yeah, yeah. But yeah, any other offerings that you'd like to share with us, and then how can people continue to follow your journey online?
Um, yes. So offerings, if you like do like want to support my work, I currently have a digital download of one of my pieces available on my website. I also have a journal available through Amazon KDP, and I hope to be adding more art digital downloads soon. Those are available on my website. And if you are in the Reno Sparks area or Northern Nevada at all, I know that's very unlikely, but if you are, I've been selling my art more in person. So this Saturday, I'll be at 1995 Dickerson Studios, if you're familiar with this area. Um, but yeah, so if you want to come say hi in person and create with me in person, and also I'll have some of my art available for sale there. Um, and then, yeah, you can just go to my YouTube channel. If you ever want to email me, some people email me, and I'm so grateful when they do. And we get to chit chat and connect. Yeah, my email is always open and always available. I'm always happy to talk with other creatives and creatively curious people. But yeah, those are the best ways to stay in touch with me. Thank you for linking everything, Marissa. You're on it.
Of course, of course, yes. I'm just gonna read through the chat one more time. I saw Leslyn comment in her book. I wanted to get to that comment. Let's see. I have a book of poetry coming as well in September. We're cheering you on, Leslyn. We're cheering you on. Congrats. Congrats. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I can't wait to read it. I love poetry so much.
Yes. Yes. In Janine's world says art is healing. I lost my dad in March and using my artistic gifts have been helping me. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Art has really helped me with grief as well, to process those deep feelings, right? That some of us may suppress just because of the world that we live in is so fast. So, intentionally carving out time to tap back into your creativity can help you process those deeper feelings. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Yeah. Coral Neon says, thank you so much to you both, Marissas. You're so welcome. This is what creatives need. Awesome live. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Lavendula says, I love the cycle of inspiration here. Okay. Can we talk about it? We just inspiring each other. I love it. I love it. Yes. Yeah. Um. Oh, thank Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate that. Cocoon was transformational. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, both books are amazing. Agreed. Agreed. And yes, please check out the box in Cocoon on melanatedmarket.org, Marissa's website. And again, you can send her an email, mnttheartist@gmail.com, if you'd like your offering added to the website. Yeah, send her an email. But on that note, I want to thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe to Marissa's YouTube channel. This conversation was everything. I'm going to have to go back and read the chat and rewatch. But yeah, thank y'all for being here. And thank you, Marissa, for being my guest.
Thank you, Marissa, for having me on. It's always a good time.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yes. All right, y'all. Until next time, I will be going live on Giovanna Marissa's channel at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. So yeah, join me there. Until next time. Bye, y'all.